G'day everyone, in this episode of Motive Garage, we've got some more upgrades to our WRX Project Budget Track Hack. Now, if you've been watching our channel, you may have seen that our WRX has now finished inside the top 10 at the Whiteline Tarmac Rallysprint series. That's the event that we basically bought and built the car for. Now, to be honest, the car's already going a lot quicker than I thought it ever could go on its current combination. I thought it would need a lot more power to finish inside the top 10 or to potentially go quicker in the future, because all of the cars ahead of us, well, they've got a lot more grunt, a lot more gear, and they're a lot more expensive. Now, rather than upgrade the power though, I've decided that I'm going to look for other areas of improvement in the car. Why? Well, simple really. Power is expensive and it just breaks everything else in the car. I'm enjoying having a reliable car that's near stock engine wise on 98 fuel that just does laps, and we develop the rest of it and get good seat time. If we upgrade the power, it could potentially break other parts of the engine. You need to upgrade support gear. WRXs have weak gearboxes, you need bigger brakes, there's so many other things you have to do when power goes up. So we're going to concentrate on some more areas we know we can refine in the car. First up, we need a limited slip differential in the rear, because out of every corner at the Rallysprint, the inside back tyre is getting a lot of wheel spin. I know the car's all-wheel drive, but they're open diffs all round. We also need to get more camber on the front of this car, so we need to work out how we're going to fix that, and we're going to do some more suspension upgrades. Let's take a look.
Upgrading the rear would be of most benefit to us and the cheapest solution. So we ordered a Cusco 1.5 way from WRX in Melbourne. For suspension, we spoke to our friends at Whiteline to work out what will help, and we got some front alloy at lower control arms. These not only reduce weight, but increase the front track, so add more negative camber, which we needed on our massively grippier Hoosier tyres as we'd maxed out the strut tops. They come with an anti-lift kit, although we already had one, which is essential for a WRX, and some new sway bar links to suit the arms. We also got a bump steer and roll centre adjustment kit. This replaces the factory ball joint with one that sticks out further to adjust the roll centre, and new tie rod ends which space down further to correct the angle of the steering arm. Both great modifications for lowered cars and ones used for motorsport. We got a rear strut brace and rear subframe lock bolt as well to help tighten up the chassis a little further. We now have almost the entire Whiteline catalogue for our WRX, and we're sure whatever we don't have, we'll be adding soon enough. With the WRX on the hoist, the first step was to remove the rear differential and shafts so the centre could be installed. Inspection of the rear shafts showed a split boot, so we decided to have both rear shafts freshened up while they're out. We then moved onto the front suspension, removing the lower arms and tie rod ends. We installed the anti-lift kit and roll centre adjuster ball joint onto the lower arms and began installing into the car. The new tie rods were installed, and with the lower arms in, we could put back the sway bar with the new links and tighten it all up. Everything comes with instructions, is bolt-in, and very straightforward to install thanks to the research and development of the crew from Whiteline. The diff returned with the centre installed, new bearings and seals, and all cleaned up along with the rear shafts, which were serviced and given new boots. We used Newline oil to fill the diff and got it back in the car. With the Hoosier tyres being so soft, we decided to get some new street rubber to use on the car for dyno work, alignment and any other non-racing movements. might come in handy in the monsoon weather that was forecast for the February Rally Sprint. With a service and spanner check, the car was ready for a wheel alignment at Road and Race Performance in Rydalmere before heading to the track.
Well, the new diffs in the car, we've had a wheel align with all the new Whiteline suspension parts in, and it's ready for round 4 of the Whiteline Rally Sprint here at Sydney Dragway. Continuing our tradition of every time we modify the car, it rains. I decided to put some street tyres on the car in case we got torrential rain, and I have to admit, before the first run, I'm still a little bit, I might stick with street tyres for the first run before we put the Hoosier R-Comps back on, because it's pretty slippery out there, but if we don't get any more rain, it should dry up and then we can test out the parts properly. We did the first 2 runs on road tyres. The first time I was just being cautious because it was pretty bad weather. It looked like it was going to rain again, and it was a safe way to get a good feel for the car. The second run I kind of went, I'll go one more time on road tyres. If it dries up, I'll switch. I wasn't going to switch, but I kind of got egged on by other people and told to do it. Hell, if Neil Bates and Harry Bates can do it, hey, pro drivers do it, anyone can, right? Right. But the car feels pretty good. The suspension alignment on the car is something new for me with trialling. It's actually working really well, makes the car really chuckable, and the LSD on corner exit, oh, should have done that the day I bought the car. All right, third run, Hoosies are back on, let's go. Back from our third run, we had the Hoosies on, and as you know, what a difference. 7 seconds faster than the run before, 8 seconds the run before that. I was still pretty cautious in all the spots, nearly looped it down by the toilet block, just really slippery down there. Through the standing water, it's a little bit sketchy, but honestly, on the wet parts of the track, it's totally fine. But there's dry and wet here, there's mud on some spots, there's standing water in other spots, but overall, I was actually way less stressed driving it on those than I thought I would be, so I have to admit, pretty impressed with the Hoosier on a wet surface here at the Rally Sprint. Very impressed. our 4th run in tonight's rally sprint. Pushed harder this time, grew a set, and it paid off. 4 seconds quicker again. We're now nearly 11 seconds quicker than our first lap. So not only am I trusting the tyre better in the wet, just pushing that little bit harder, but there were some good moments in that run, so we'll cut to an instant replay right now. Alright, so that was our final run tonight at the Whiteline Rallysprint. Took another second out of our time. Overall, the car performed flawlessly as per usual. That's the benefit of having a pretty stock engine. The whole setup's working really well. The running water does play havoc with the car and probably plays havoc with my confidence in a couple of spots. But overall, the car setup now is even better than before. The wheel alignment setup that we did is different to before, but definitely better. The extra track in the front, the diff in the back is just incredible. So overall, although we probably don't have a time indicative of kind of where the car's at performance-wise, in terms of the way it drives, it's epic. Love it. This car is the best. All right, I'm back. Susie's back. She's going to try and hide from the camera all night again, but I'm not going to let her this time. We are at the finals of the Whiteline Tarmac Rally Sprint. I'm doing double filming duties. I'm hosting their coverage and doing this vlog. So I'm going to let Susie do all the talking tonight about how we go. So I'm going to hand over to our new host. Hi, Susie. Is that a no? Okay, put in the comments below, would you rather me host or Susie host at the Rally Sprint? That run feel, first run?
I think it was pretty quick.
I think it felt safe fast. There's a couple of areas I could definitely push harder, but it was all right. Dave said on the way back in he held up a 5, and even a few minutes later with 34 cars through, we are still 5th.
That was a 2 minute 21. Now the car that I use as my marker is Mr. Dudley's Porsche GT3, and he's done a 2:19.5 to our 2:21.1. That's only, so we're 1.6 seconds behind a Porsche 991 GT3. That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Are you happy with your co-driving talent on that run?
Yeah, really, yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Can you give, like, the crowd said last time it wasn't enthusiastic enough high five, you have to do a better one.
Oh, okay. Yes. I missed.
We're back from our 5th and final run for the night. It was an interesting one. The car felt great. It's heaps of fun to drive. The new setup is so good, but I just struggled a little bit after the first run. So the first run was surprisingly a 21.1, which was pretty good. Then we went out, went 22.5, 22.5, 22.8 after a big stuff up. Calmed it down for the last run. Where were we? Back at 21.1. So we're on track for a top 10 finish. Maybe, you reckon?
Maybe.
Maybe? Oh, let's hope so. But that's the end of the season, so I guess I better step my game up for next season, right?